Hi, it is Wednesday, September 25th, and it is getting towards the end of the season. There isn't a lot going on in the patch right now, but I did run into at least one issue in the past week or so. It's probably about a week ago I discovered it. The biggest issue I have going on. And I just discovered one that's I don't think is going to be an issue, but something I'm not too excited about. So stay tuned and I'll show you what I got going on. I'll start by showing you, this isn't the issue I'm talking about, but I'll start by showing you the 2501 Bernstrom plant. It's Snow White's plant, but these are the early leaves. They are looking really rough. But the plant is close to 160 days old, so I don't expect everything to look perfect. But I may have a disease, some kind of mildew or some fungus, something going on some of these leaves. It's only a handful over here. I'm not worried about it at all. After this year, I do plan to let this patch rest for probably at least a couple years. Probably in a future video I'll show you where I'm planning to put my new patch. I have a good thought on where I want it, but right now let's focus on this season for now. As you can see, as I get closer to the pumpkin, the plant is getting better looking. It is, I don't know if these are just age or if this is some kind of a deficiency or if the leaves are just kind of getting shot, but we are coming to the end of the season, so I'm not too worried about that either. I am still fertilizing as same as I described in my previous video. This is the plant. There are weeds in here, kind of let it go, but yeah, so you can see this is the newest part of the plant. There are some tertiaries there and a couple other spots that are trying to pop through. I've done a pretty good job at keeping up with those, but I don't know. That's probably the biggest one, but I'm gonna just let that one go now too. I don't think it'll throw out a pumpkin at this point, or one I need to worry about. But here is, if you notice, I got a fan and a hair dryer here. And I'll explain in just a sec what's going on here. So this is Snow White. I zoomed out a little bit so it's easier to see the pumpkin, just the whole pumpkin versus how I zoomed just a second ago. The pumpkin I measured last time on Sunday, and I had done my previous 2 5-day measurements since my last video. And the first 5 days of the last 10, I guess, was about 9.8 pounds a day I got as an estimate. And then the last 5 days actually bumped up to like almost 12 pounds a day for 5 days. So she still is growing. I do take a measurement again on Friday. But I will put some pictures, I think, if I get a chance. I'll put some pictures of what was going on or what I found on this pumpkin and why I have that fan and hair dryer there. But I came out last Wednesday, must have been the 18th, and I had, I'll put it up on the screen, but I had a, up kind of where those fan and everything is, I had a little circle. It's a green circle. You'd see it in previous videos. I never pointed it out, I don't think, but it's a green circle, and then in the inside of it was orange, but a slightly different color orange than the rest of the pumpkin. Well, that split. When I came out Wednesday, it had a slit, but I couldn't see, it's right where I'm pointing here. I could not see inside that slit. It was just like a little slit on the surface, but it was dark behind it. So it looked like, instead of like these growth cracks that I have here all over the place, instead of something like that, it was just like a black void behind it. And so what I ended up doing, and I might put some videos on top of this video showing the process while I'm talking about it. But I ended up, because I was worried that stuff would get inside that slit and cause, I guess, rot, and I wouldn't be able to see it at all. So what I did is I ended up carving open that inside that circle that I had. And it was just I just had to do the outer skin because it was actually hollow, behind the skin here. It was hollow. So my thought on this is that that circle had formed and it was indented. And I think it was indented because there was no, I guess, meat or flesh or rind. I don't know what you want to call it, what the correct term is, but I don't think it had any of like the thick pumpkin stuff right behind that skin. So it indented, and that's why it, like when it split, there was nothing behind it. So it looked like a black void. So I opened it up. I sprayed some alcohol, rubbing alcohol in there. I dabbed some alcohol around the edge, and then I zip tied this hair dryer to this T-post. I put the T-post in the ground here, and I zip tied it to it, and I run this hair dryer on high, but like a cool setting. I run it on that for probably a few, I just turned it off now, but for a few hours at a time. The reason I don't run it constantly is, in my mind, hair dryers aren't designed to run 24/7 like a fan could be. So I don't want to burn it out, and I don't want to overheat anything. So what I do is I run the hair dryer for a few hours, shut it off, and then I kick this fan on at the opposite times. So there's constant airflow, but so far it looks like everything's healed over. It's only, I don't know, I'd say it's less than an inch wide, maybe, probably less than an inch width and height, and it only goes in maybe an inch, but it seems to be scabbing over. It doesn't seem to be causing any issues, but when I saw that, I guess last Wednesday, it kind of felt like somebody punched me in the gut, because we're getting so close to the way off here, and I was worried that it went deeper than it did. But as I thought about it more, if I would have had that down here, I would have been really worried that it actually went into the cavity, because down here is going to be one of your thinnest parts on your pumpkin. But up here, it should be hopefully 10, 12 inches thick at that spot. So it shouldn't be anywhere close to getting into the cavity at that point. So I should be good. But yeah, anyways, that's what I got. That was the biggest issue I had going on here that I was worried about. And like I said, hopefully I put some video clips or pictures on the screen while I'm talking about it here, so you can see a little bit more of the details. The other thing is I just saw it, and I don't know if I'll throw anything on there just so you can see what I'm looking at, because I did take a quick video, because I can't get my head down to look underneath around the edges of this side of the pumpkin or the other side. I can see the front, or the stem end and the blossom end, but I can't see the sides real well. So I take my camera and I videotape on both sides just to see if there's any issues that I can see. And what I ended up finding is it looked like something tunneled in the last couple days, probably when it was really cold. Looks like something tunneled under on this side a little bit. I have no idea if it's caused any issues, but I hope not. But it looks like something did tunnel under there. I guess we'll find out if anything was under there when it's time to pick this pumpkin. But that's the other thing I found recently. I did clear some of the sand out, put a mouse trap there. I'm going to load it with fresh peanut butter, which is what I have in my traps right now. I do have 5 traps. I caught a vole a couple days ago. But I am going to put more around that spot, because it seems like if there is something going in and out of there, I want to do that. I will also put cayenne pepper around most of the rest of the pumpkin to try to help deter them. But I don't want to do it in front of where that hole is, because I don't want, if something's in there, I don't want it to feel like it has to stay in there. So, yeah, yeah, so this is kind of a long ramble, but those are the two issues that I have come across this week as the season's getting towards the end here. Here's a quick look at Tiny Diamond. I have not measured her in, I don't know, probably 10 days or more. I just haven't been motivated to do it. She probably is a little over 800 pounds. Last I knew, she was gaining like, I don't know, maybe 5 pounds a day at that. I don't even know if it was that. It might have been like 2 pounds a day. But as you can see, her plant is fairly small. She is putting out new growth mainly up in there and some around here. And I guess all over the place, she's putting a little bit of new growth. I don't know if it's helping her pick up any gains. Definitely this plant is not helping her. So just wanted to show you, those are the two I got going here. Yeah, so that's, I guess, an update of the couple issues I've been dealing with and what I've done for them. Hopefully some of that might be helpful for somebody. But if you have any questions exactly what I did or thought process behind it, just leave me a comment, and I will respond. If you need me to show you something more in detail, I'll try to do that as well in maybe a next video. So, yeah, thanks for listening to all that. So hopefully all that made sense, what I was trying to explain on what I did and I guess the thought process. Another thing I have, it was really hard to point backwards like that, but on this end there are a lot of growth cracks. I do have a fan going 24/7 on this end on one of the growth cracks. It's split a little bit more, but that I'm not too concerned about. It's just a growth crack. It's sapping. I have a fan on it. It gets hit by the sun in the morning, so not too concerned. But here's the front half of the plant. I have been covering them with sleeping bags at night because it's been down in like the 40s. A couple nights ago it was down in the upper 30s. So, but anyways, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Please share the video, and hopefully you found something helpful. Also, follow us on Instagram at The Turner Ranch. Thank you.